Hi, Green Machine friends and fans of fun. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. First of all, please like and subscribe our videos. We don't ever say that, and we don't have a lot of subscribers. We could use more. Honestly, we need to break 1,000 sometime. We've only broken 100. So please share this video. Try to get us likes and subscribes. That's my Christmas wish, is that we break 1,000. We're probably not going to, but it's my Christmas wish. And then please come into the store. We've got a lot of sales, and, you know, it's just a good time, the holiday spirit and stuff. So come talk comics with us in our store for Christmas. That's my second wish. I get 3, right?
Sure.
That's not a Christmas thing, is it? No, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know what my third one is. Maybe read these comics. World peace. What am I, a beauty pageant winner? I wish for world peace. Who told you to wish for that? They all said that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, I think I've watched beauty pageants maybe like once or twice. And I have no idea why. I think maybe I was just half asleep and like late night type stuff.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so weird. But they all wish world peace. Anyways, I would wish for superpowers. Which superpower would you wish for?
We've talked about that.
Oh yeah, but which would you wish
I
for?
would go for the invincibility. Like
Okay.
Cage status.
Invincibility. You know what I'd go for?
Yeah, flying.
Yeah, flying. Yeah. Okay, let's get to all the comics. The first comic on our list is Young Justice, and it says, "What does Naomi know?" Well, the last issue sort of had Naomi. I guess she showed up at the end of Young Justice when they made it back to the Earth. The reason being, they came through the same portal that Naomi's villain came through. So, yeah. So we get a Young Justice sleepover. And honestly, it was really fun. I had a good time with it. I think I laughed the whole way through, and it was pretty much everything I wanted out of Young Justice. Plus, anything with Naomi in it these days totally sells me on it. So 100% across the board, absolutely go out and buy issue 11. It's great. Next is Deadeye's number 3. You're not paying attention, man. Deadeye's number 3. So this, we had Dead Rabbit, and Dead Rabbit went 2 issues. That was it, and then they recalled it. So this is the first issue that is new, and, you know, this is Jerry Duggan, McCree, Spicer, and Sabino. Is it good? Yes, it's amazing. It's awesome. Pretty much the last issue ended with his buddy who was on the heist with him getting messed up, so he took him to the hospital, and then he checked on his wife who was also at the hospital. And that's where it left off. This issue, the Mafia has gotten wise and is going to go question his buddy, so he's got to ambush them with nitrous oxide. Did not expect that. That's kind of a different way to fight. I had a great time with it. I laughed the whole way through. It was a lot of that good action that I've come to love from Jerry Duggan. And then, honestly, this Deadeye's run is amazing. I love it. I'm so happy we have this back. So, granted, I still miss the Dead Rabbit name, but it is what it is. Issue number 3 is awesome. Come pick this up. Next is Green Lantern, Black Stars, and my God, I really wanted to like this. Because I was like, it's a good take. It's something different. I mean, okay, Grant Morrison definitely knows the material. He references a lot of stuff in this sort of modern timeline, a lot of stuff that has happened in the Lantern Corps history and the DC Comics history. He knows his stuff. However, I'm not happy with how the world is. I'm not happy with how these characters are. Granted, maybe part of it is the fanboy in me because Green Lantern stuff is very holy to me, and when you change it even slightly, I get a little annoyed. And I know eventually it's going to turn out well, but this issue in particular made me a little angry. Now, granted, the end of it fixed that somewhat, and that's what he's going for, I think, is to make you a little angry. But if you are a Lantern Corps fanboy on my level, this one might bother you a little. I'm just going to tell you that. So, yeah. But I don't hate it, and I will say that the art is 1,000 times better than it was in the beginning of Grant Morrison's Green Lantern run. I didn't bond with that artist. I like this artist a lot more. I do still want to know where Morrison's going with it. This one is sort of iffy for me. So, it is what it is. Next is Justice League, issue number 37. This comes on the heels of, the Justice League lost the Doom War. And in the last issue, they did something pretty funny. Doom decided that their headquarters was going to fly, and attack. Yeah, and it turns out that Batman's got a contingency for that. So the Justice League headquarters flies, and they counter battle, and it was honestly kind of cool to see. We do have Starro being Starro, which is not Starro, sorry, Jarro being Jarro, who is still my favorite part about this whole run. My God.
Robin, even though it was a dream.
He's my favorite Robin, and legitimately, somebody says like the Starfish is my favorite Rob, and Damian cuts him off and says, "Don't say it." That happens in this issue. It's awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's so good. Everything about this. So this is the issue you've been waiting for. If you've been following the Justice League Doom War, you know that eventually somebody's got to pull something out of the fire, and it happens in this issue, finally, and it's amazing. It's awesome. Granted, I think the next issue is going to be better because the big bad's going to get big beat, or at least the big fight's going to start. And the Batman Who Laughs was supposed to be in the fight. We haven't seen him yet. Yeah, he's still not in the fight. He's waiting. So I think he's coming in at the end. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. It's great. Honestly, it's great. More importantly, look, Jon Stewart hits somebody with a car in space.
What?
Yeah.
Behind the wheel? Or like,
Yeah. Like legit, they're like, do you hear a car honking? A car horn honking? And it's just like, do. I was like, oh, God. It's so good. So, I love everything about Snyder's writing. I honestly love this Justice League run. It's so awesome. So, please jump on board. It's great. Next is another one I desperately need to talk about, and that's Batman 84. Now, the last issue, we talked about Thomas Wayne doing Batman dirty by putting, You Are Not Batman on the wall, which, as a Batman fan, that made me so angry. So angry. Because, granted, I mean, we're the Prime universe, right? So, technically, he's not our universe, but that's still our Batman. Like, nobody can say otherwise. That's our Batman. And for him to do that just made me angry. Now, this is it's basically centering around Thomas Wayne's story, which is a bit more touching. He does have, like, some history with Catwoman. Not the same as the Sun, but some history with Catwoman. He does have his own vow. All of that is fleshed out. And I think it's supposed to humanize the villain. But really, all it did was make me hate him more. which I think is also the point. Like, Tom King is building towards that last issue. And, my God, that last issue better be amazing. So here's the thing. We need to talk about this for a second, okay? Thomas Wayne wants Batman to quit being Batman because he knows he'll be happier without being a superhero, which may be the case. Who knows, right? All the other timelines that when the Batman Who Laughs during his miniseries was bringing people in, they all had like smiles and they were all happier Bruce Waynes. So maybe there's some truth to it, right? Yeah. But he can't quit because of his father. He can't quit because of Thomas Wayne. Like, if he quits because of Thomas Wayne, I would hate that. That would be the worst storyline ever. I would not be happy with that. If he quits because of his own volition, like he's just reached the end of the road and he's done, or he reaches his goal, which is Gotham has 0 violent crimes occur for 1 year. Like, I would be okay with him quitting then. But if he quits because of Thomas Wayne, I won't be happy. There's a lot to cover in this last issue. All of his friends have been like controlled by Psycho Pirate. His woman's being controlled by Psycho Pirate. Thomas Wayne has won everyone. He's essentially beaten him, and he's even beaten him in fights before this. So it's coming down to one last fight, and it better be great. Like, it better be just a violent beatdown for Thomas Wayne. Like, that cowl needs to come off Thomas Wayne's head. He needs to learn that he's not Batman. That's what I want from the end of this. And on top of that, we need to have Gotham return to some sanity and normal. Like, there is a lot of ground to cover for the last issue, which makes me scared that we're not going to get it. That it's going to go into the Bat and Cat miniseries, which I hope that does finish his vision, but we still get a nice bow put on issue 85 on the last issue. So there is a lot to cover, and it really needs to be inspiring, and knowing Tom King, it will be, but I'm just, man, there's so much. So anyways, this one is totally great. It's worth checking out. I think you should go out and buy it, but I also think you should have been on board with Batman a lot further back. So anyways, Batman issue 84, don't miss it. Next is Superman Up in the Sky. We need to talk about this because it's another Tom King book. This is Tom King's take on Superman. He was tasked with finding a girl out in space. It was basically a bunch of individual stories. The one thing I have to tell you about it, something that it felt like to me, was at times it felt like All-Star Superman. Like, this story itself, a lot of the stories seem self-contained, but they were all pushing towards the same goal, which is a lot of how All-Star Superman felt. But one thing that I do want to talk about the story is this last issue in particular. There were some really good scenes in the other issues. You remember issue 3, I think it was, where there was an alien who was like giving him his life force, and when he laid on hands, he was getting all these quotes from like Superman's life while he was trying to bring him back, and it was costing his own life force. And the very last line that he hears before he like passes away is, "Look up in the sky." And I got chills on that issue. This one is like a love letter to both Superman and comics. It is completely a love letter to comics, and more importantly, DC Comics. It has the little girl. He eventually frees her, and she's asking him all these questions about like different comic events, like who would win in a fight between you and Batman and everything else. And Superman's answers, while they are answers to a little girl, and it's supposed to be like her adventure returning home type thing, it really is a love letter to comics. It's everything that I, as a comic fan, want people to go over from time to time. And it's questions I've asked growing up and stuff like that. It's beautiful. It was a great, great wrap-up. More importantly, Superman is the ranger of all rangers, because he gets told that he's going to quit and that he's going to lose and this and that. And, yeah, but in this issue, a lot. And his only reply is like, "No, sir." Like, "No, sir, like, it's not going to happen. I'm Ranger through and through." And so I love that. Oh, God, I love that. I love everything about this, and I've read every one of the issues, but I haven't bought them for some reason. I think I'm going to buy the trade, or maybe get on eBay and pick them all up, because I love this way more than I thought I should. And which is weird, because like I didn't like the Wonder Woman offshoot, and I didn't really bond with the Batman one. And somebody showed me the Batman White Lantern in that, which was a mess of continuity, and I wasn't quite happy with. But this one I've loved. So, anyways, that Batman one that's in the same vein, that's written by Bendis, though, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they totally grabbed the different.
Yeah. So we've got a few of these, and this is, if you don't know, this is issue 1, Star Wars, and this issue actually drops before the movies ever came out, which explains a lot. I mean, like, on the cover, Vader's mask is green, which I think is just green because of the old comic print, because it's not green in the issue. But who knows? Maybe he was green. And then Luke's lightsaber is definitely Sith red. That is Sith red as hell. So does the story play out like regular Star Wars? Yeah, it pretty much does. It's definitely Star Wars Episode 1, Episode 4, A New Hope. It's very much that. It's a great piece of history to own. Granted, it's a facsimile, but we've got a few of these if you want them. I know that there were we had a couple of Star Wars fans that were in here yesterday that like demanded we hold one for them. So I don't know how many we have left, but come pick them up. Next is Usagi Yojimbo issue number 7. Now, if you don't know, whenever you see the Rhino on the cover, his name is Jen, I think. Jen. Whenever you see him on the cover, it's an action story, and this one does not disappoint. What happens if you're dealing with a situation with prisoners and one of them escapes? Does that come back to haunt you?
Yeah.
Should you probably handle that? They learned that lesson the hard way, and it's hysterical. I had a good time with it the whole way through. Granted, I favor any story with Jen the Rhino, because I know it's going to be a lot of good action, and I have the most fun with those Usagi stories. So that's what you get in this issue. Come pick it up. It's awesome. Next is Black Widow issue number 4. I'm bumping my mic. And this is pretty much picking up with her still trying to figure out what's going on with her doppelganger that's doing all these very public assassinations and how to handle it. And it puts her on a collision course with Hawkeye. Clint is upset with her, and yeah, very, very upset with her. And, a Clint and Black Widow fight is exactly what the Doctor ordered. Like, they are best of friends, but seeing them fight is a good time sometimes. So, yeah, I had a really good time with this. Is Hauser, Mooney, and Farrell. The Web of Black Widow series has been awesome. You should be on board. Just for the art alone, it's amazing. So, we'll have it. Come pick it up. Next is New Year's Evil, and this is a $9.99 80-page book. This is a graphic novel, essentially, and you're getting a lot of stories, a ton of stories. For example, I think there's like maybe 10 or 11 stories in this. A good example is the very beginning story is somebody poses as the Joker and brings some chaos to the town, but does it with fake gas. And the whole reasoning was they just wanted to clear out the town center on New Year's Eve. And Joker catches wind, confronts him, but the guy's like, what are you going to do? If you kill, I don't care if you kill me. If you kill me, like, it's still, you're going to know that I caused this, and it's my chaos, but it's done in your name. And he's like, well, how do I counter your chaos then? How do I do this? Like, how do I stop his statement of chaos when he's, the Crown Prince of Chaos? So it's kind of cool. Like, and there's a lot of that in here. So I had a really good time. I honestly, it asked the fun questions. Granted, there is a scene with Blue Superman in it, which I don't like, but everything else about it was great. So yeah, issue 1, I guess not 1, it's a special issue. New Year's Evil, come pick this up, we'll have it. All right, we're back. The next issue is $20.99 Venom, and I honestly thought I was gonna hate this because I had read another $20.99 this week, and I didn't like it very much. We'll get to that in a minute. This is Hauser, Mobley, Borges, and Rosenberg. I loved it. I had a great time with this. This is a different Venom that we're not used to, and the reason, her origin story and how she gets the symbiote is pretty cool. I had an honest good time with this story. The art was amazing. There's not much to complain about, so if you need a little more Venom and you wanted a $20.99 book that, in my opinion, is good, this one is it. We'll get to the bad ones, though, trust me. Next is TMNT, Shredder in Hell. It's been a while, like 3 months since we've seen the last one. And I thought the last one was honestly the end of the series. I honestly thought it didn't quite wrap it up. It was a mythical and ethereal story that involved like Shredder in Hell and trying to deal with the afterlife and what that entails and the battle between his soul and like I guess the dragon itself. And so this wraps it up, and it's good. It's a really, really good ending. It's weird for me to be rooting for the Shredder after so many years, but it was great. And granted, I know he redeemed himself near the end of his life, but this is leading towards TMNT 100, which you should absolutely be on board because that story's been amazing. So anyways, TMNT, Shredder in Hell, come pick this up. It's awesome. The art is just amazing.
They're all in the same continuity, huh?
Yep. And a little bit, a tiny bit of spoiler, he's probably going to be in issue 100. That's probably...
As long as he's been in this.
Yeah. They owe it to him.
Yeah.
Next is Savage Avengers, issue number 8, To Dine with Doom. So, there's a lot to unpack. First of all, if you only know Doctor Strange from the movies, you probably don't know that the Eye of Agamotto is not like that in the comics. It actually fits on his head and looks... I think it looks cool. It probably looks dorky to other people, but I think it looks cool. Granted, Conan's got an amulet from that wizard. I think his name is Kolroth. The Blood God Wizard! Blood God! And so it's a counter to the Eye of Agamemnon, we think. And it sort of goes into that. And Conan's basically dealing with Doom, who wants to wine him and dine him and take that amulet from him because he can sense the power. I loved everything about this issue. I got to tell you, the way that Conan, because Doctor Strange comes to him and says, what if that amulet's cursed? And Conan's like, see, no curse. And he like puts it on a goat after he's been wearing it. It's so funny. So, honestly, I love everything about how they're writing Conan these days, and this is no exception. This is amazing. It's awesome. I love it. So come pick it up. Can we talk about Conan? No, you know what? We'll talk about him. Hang on, I got to reorganize the books real fast because he was at the end. Hey, I found it. It's Conan's Serpent War, and we need to talk about this a lot. I mean, one, we know Conan always deals with the Blood God. Blood God! Yeah. In this particular issue, though, it has the god Set, who is a snake god, which I don't know, Set could probably be a blood god, right? It's a giant snake god. It does demand sacrifice. Its followers are always evil. Makes sense to me. Blood god. Anyways, that God is sort of putting together a team, kind of. A team of heroes. On the team, we've got, what is it? Solomon Kane is on there. Conan is on there. What's her name? She's basically Elsa Bloodstone. Dark Agnes, who is Elsa Bloodstone for the Marvel Universe, essentially. And Moon Knight, my man Moon Knight, is on the team. So it's supposed to be, what is it? A knight, a barbarian. Yeah. They've totally made a D&D campaign. Yep, a paladin. So they've made a D&D campaign out of these characters, and that's the point. I think that's what we're supposed to feel about this, and it's building towards some big blood gaudy thing that we hasn't been explained. But my God, Conan is just written so well. Like, I don't know why he was missing before. Like, he was the missing piece of good fantasy from the Marvel Universe. Now, granted, they had Kazar. I don't care for that character. They had a few others that were hanging out in the Savage Lands, but something about Conan just fits. The way he's written is so much fun. I love his one-liners, just the way he handles things. We were talking about Conan 2099, how he doesn't like wizards and sorcerers, and he'll either kill from them or run from them. That's pretty much his standard. And I think in that one, who was it? Was it Morgana or something? I think it was Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana.
I think that's her name. I always forget her name. But anyways, so she shows up there and she's like, I need you to do something. If you don't do it, you'll be cursed. He's like, I'm going to kill you. And she's like, well, if you do that, you'll definitely be cursed. He's like, I don't care. Like, stabs her through. I love everything about this character, and it's so nice to have him in the Marvel Universe. And this is no exception. I had a really, really good time with the story. I think it's building towards something great. Pick this up for sure. Next is something we need to talk about. Now, I haven't hid at all. I haven't hid my love, my fandom for TMNT. I have a huge fandom that goes back. I have a huge love for TMNT that goes back to, I guess, junior high, maybe? Maybe high school? When did it come out? Junior high, high school for me? I think it was junior high. But anyway, so no, because the comics were running before that. Way before it got popular. And I was into the comics, the OG, like, black and white comics. So, yeah. So anyways, this is TMNT Power Rangers crossover, and this is the other issues. There are variants that show, like, the helmet being held by the Turtles, but this is one in particular, is the White Ranger being held by Shredder, no less. And I love this cover, but I do have a special place in my heart for the Power Rangers too, because I was a little bit older when the Power Rangers came out, but I remember working as a special needs teacher for kids with autism, and one of my students who has been to this store, actually, a kid named Max, he was obsessed with Power Rangers. And the way I would get him to work was I would teach him about math or English or something, and then he would pull out this strip that he had made with tape and cut out, like, Power Rangers of all different kinds, and he folded it up. It was like a wallet strip, and he would unfold it, and he would be like, Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and Power Rangers Space Police. And it was important to him that I learned all the Power Rangers. And so he wanted me to learn those, and that's how I got him to learn things. So they have a special place in my heart, too. So this crossover is awesome. And granted, I do have a couple nitpicky things about the art. It seems like the artist is very, very Power Ranger-centric, and the Ninja Turtles do sort of feel like Power Ranger Ninja Turtles. They don't feel like the Ninja Turtles sort of flavor in the art, which I'm okay with. It's okay to put that sort of spin on it. The storyline, however, is awesome. Now, it does have the Green Ranger, and the Green Ranger might be at the whims of the Foot Clan, and Shredder might be in play here. So it's really, really cool to see. Yeah, so it was awesome. Come pick this up. It's great. This is Parrot, DiMio, and Biamonte. Parrot is a Power Rangers guy, isn't he? I think so. Perot. I don't think it's Perot. Ross Perot. God, Ross Perot. There's a name from way, way back. Not an artist, a politician. I guess we could say failed politician. He made a bunch of promises and then didn't deliver. Just quit his campaign. Anyway, so we're rambling. We're getting off topic. Next is Red Sonja by Dynamite. And this is, well, it's okay. I don't know. Red Sonja is really popular, but I'm not really identifying with the story. It's still like a guy with a walking tent that has severed heads that give him advice on how to proceed, and Red Sonja is sort of countering it and trying to counter his army and doing quite well at it. And oh my God, would you believe psychic Severed heads give bad advice. Who is shocked by that? Maybe you'd get advice from living people. I don't know. So Red Sonja issue 11. If you've been on board with this, you know what you're getting. It's pretty much what you've been getting for the last 10 issues. It's the same thing. It's not resolved. It's still a good Red Sonja story. I don't hate it. The art, I'm still kind of on the fence about. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, come pick this up if you're into Red Sonja. Next is Butcher of Paris. This is Stephanie Phillips, Dean Kotz, and Jason Wardy. And this is a true story of a serial killer in Paris during the occupation of the Nazis. He killed 200 to 300 people. 200 to 300 people as a serial killer.
That's pretty
We got one serial killer that just hit triple digits in the United States that they've arrested. That I've been like following this story because they think he's hit triple digits. I can't remember his name, but
H.H. Holmes is another.
yeah, like there are very few serial killers that hit triple digits. This is insane. So while the art is very Criminal-esque, it might even actually be the same artist on Criminal, which I'm not a fan of. The story, however, is amazing. I had a really good time with it. It's got Nazi intrigue and then a serial killer operating, and I do want to know more. So The Butcher of Paris, I'd say go pick this up for sure by Dark Horse Comics. This is actually a pretty good read. Next is X-Men. Plain old X-Men, not Marauders. I thought this was Marauders when I grabbed it. That guy has a really loud voice. This issue is hysterical and weird. This is Hickman Yu, Alan Giano, and Go. Well, some humans managed to crack the code and break through the gates of Krakoa. And what kind of villains do you think this would be?
Oh, man. I got nothing on you.
Right? If you crack the code of flower portals, you would assume something big and nasty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's old ladies who are into horticulture. And it's hysterical. I laughed the whole way through. I had a really, really good time with it. And it's as far as villains go, oddly, they're kind of endearing. I really sort of liked them. They were hysterical and weird. I had a good time. I laughed the whole way through. So X-Men issue number 3, I'd say go buy this. Granted, it's some comedy. It's hard to take it seriously, but it was pretty funny. Sebastian Shaw getting owned by old ladies is pretty funny, though. Yeah. Next is Crone, issue number 2. This is Culver, Greenwood, Simpson, and Brasoa. And this is essentially Red Sonja if she made it to old age. And the last issue had her, like, chasing down a bear and being like, if today's my day to die, so be it. And then she, like, kills the bear, and she's like, why is it not my day to die? Why won't something kill me? So this is her getting tempted into one last adventure to explore the fact that one of her villains wasn't quite put down, even though she distinctly remembers beheading him. And why is that? And she takes on a squire, so she's training the new generation, who is totally put off by her bikini suit. And there's an explanation for it. So this really is, it's not outright Red Sonja, but what if Red Sonja got old? That's what they're going for. And it's great. It's awesome. I laughed the whole way through. The action is good. The art is amazing. There's nothing wrong with this book. It's a fun ride. Come pick it up if you like fantasy. Okay. Go or no-go books. Here we go. Amazing Spider-Man. This is a go. It's a 2099 story, a tie-in. It's pretty good. I'm still having a good time with it, so yeah, go. This is Death or Glory, issue number 7. I guess this would be a go if you'd read the other issues. I hadn't. I still didn't hate it. So, yeah, I'd say it's a go. I don't know that it's the best jumping off point, though. Fair warning. Marauders, issue number 3. It centers around Sebastian Shaw, which is not my favorite mutant. It's okay. I still think it's a go if you're on board with this Marauders run. Anyone else, don't jump it on that issue. No go. Next is Deathbringer, and this is issue number 1, The Infected. This is Donna Troy as The Infected. Had a great time with it. But I am kind of a Donna Troy fanboy, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but it's a go for me. Next is Spawn, issue number 303. Honestly, this is some of the better writing coming out of them, and we've got a Lady Spawn in play, which I want to know more about. Go. Next is Ghost Rider 2099. It's a no-go for a lot of reasons. It's really tropey, very much 80s cyberpunk, not the good kind. It reminds me of, I don't know, Johnny Mnemonic before the Matrix, Keanu's movie, which I didn't like all that much. Low-budget cyberpunk. Oh, yeah, definitely low-budget Terminator. It's tropey. It's not good. I don't know. If you really need another Ghost Rider, maybe it's a go. Totally a no-go for me. Black Cat. Go. The cover is very, it looks like it centers around her butt. It's kind of pervy. The storyline's great. Go.
Okay.
Star Wars Saga. This is a primer for the upcoming comics. I'd say if you're a Star Wars fan, totally go. This goes over all the history of the comics up to date. Of the comics, not including the expanded Legends universe. Annihilation, Scourge, Fantastic Four. Hated the other Fantastic Four Annihilation. Love this one. Go. It was great. It turns out the cancer, what's it called? The Cancerverse? Mm-hmm. The Cancerverse is infecting the negative universe. Wow. Yeah, so it's fun. I had a good time. Archie and Sabrina. I missed my soap opera, and it's still a go.
Okay.
Oh, God, it's still a go. I'm having the best time with Archie and Sabrina. I'm not sure why. Doctor Doom, issue number 3. Go. It's awesome. So many funny Doctor Doom lines. Love everything about it. Go. Annihilation, Scourge, Nova. Weird to say here. I don't know how to play this out. Go. The exchange between the Fantastic Four kids and Nova is hysterical, and I think needs to be read. Granted, it's only like two to 3 pages of the book, but it was great. The rest of it was kind of weird. I don't know. Didn't have the best time with the rest of it. But that exchange is hysterical. Totally worth it. So go if you like good comedy. Okay, we're doing our drawing. Are you ready?
Ready for you.
First number, 156.
Number 156 is going to be Jeremy Martin.
Jeremy Martin, you won a poster. And do we want to do more than one this week?
Well, we'll do 2.
2. Okay, 2. 342.
And that is going to be Lorenzo Silva.
Lorenzo Silva, you won a poster. That's our show for this week, so come in and please like and subscribe if you made it this far.
Bunch of sales going on the store, too.
Bunch of sales. Come in. Like and subscribe. Like, what does Philly D say? Like and subscribe or I'll punch you in the throat. I'm not going to say it like Philly D, though.
Yeah, don't.
That's what he says, and it works.
Like and subscribe or he'll punch me in the... No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. See you later.